The sun dipped low on the Alaskan horizon, bathing the landscape in a warm, golden light that made night feel like a distant memory. In the stillness of the tundra, time seemed to stretch, and ancient secrets danced on the chilly breeze. For outsiders, this place was all about wild weather and breathtaking scenery. But for those who called it home, the land thrummed with history, stories that predate time itself, of spirits hidden in the snow and sky. When Dr. Elise Rowan arrived in the village of Colic to investigate solar activity, she anticipated scientific oddities, not cryptic warnings, not stones that seemed to weep under the moonlight, and definitely not dreams filled with feathered shadows and fiery eyes. The villagers shared their tales with caution, their words wrapped in myth and respect. Yet, behind their quiet expressions was a profound understanding, that the midnight sun was more than just a season, it was a gateway. And some doors, once opened, can never be shut again. Chapter 1, Whispers in the Ice. The air was crisp and biting as Dr. Elise Rowan stepped off the small propeller plane and onto the frostbitten tundra. The village of Colic was tucked away between towering, ice-capped mountains and endless stretches of snow, where the sun seemed to hang just above the horizon, refusing to dip below. Here, daylight and twilight blended seamlessly, and the silence was profound, only interrupted by the distant howl of a lone wolf. Elise had come in search of data on the unusual patterns of the midnight sun, but the villagers had their own tales to share. Elders gathered around the fire in the longhouse, their faces lined with the marks of time and wisdom. They spoke softly of spirits trapped beneath the ice, of voices carried on the wind, and of an ancient era when the sun itself was a living entity, walking among them. Their words were laden with both reverence and caution. The more Elise listened, the more she sensed the weight of something hidden. A secret tied to the frozen land, whispered through generations yet never fully unveiled. In Colic, the ice didn't just preserve, it held truths waiting to be discovered. Chapter 2, The Raven and the Flame. As the evening fire crackled, Elder Anana leaned in, her eyes shimmering with the glow of the dancing flames. She began to weave the tale of Raven, the clever trickster and creator, whose wit shaped the very fabric of the world. Long ago, before the sun cast its steady light, the world was a cold, dark place, trapped in an endless night. Raven, ever restless and curious, soared to the mountain where the fire was carefully guarded by the spirits. With a mix of cunning and bravery, he snatched the flame, bringing warmth and light to the people for the very first time. The elder's voice was a blend of softness and authority as she recounted how Raven's gift transformed everything. The fire didn't just banish the cold, it sparked life, crafted tools, and bridged the gap between the people and the spirit world. Yet, the flame came with a warning, its power was not to be taken lightly. The balance between light and dark was fragile, and Raven's daring act had set off the eternal dance of day and night, sun and shadow. Elise listened intently, captivated by the layers of the myth, feeling that it held more than mere folklore. The story of the Raven was not just about fire, it was about the delicate harmony that the midnight sun itself represented. It was a lesson wrapped in legend, one she would soon discover was profoundly real. Chapter 3, Voices Beneath the Aurora. Nights in Colic sparkled with colors that danced across the sky like living spirits. Elise felt an irresistible pull towards the northern lights, their haunting glow awakening something deep within her dreams. One evening, with the guidance of a local hunter, she ventured beyond the village, following the fading trails to a hidden cave nestled in the rocky hillside. Inside, the air was chilly and thick, filled with the scent of ancient stone and the weight of forgotten time. The walls were adorned with petroglyphs, images of animals, celestial symbols, and swirling patterns that seemed to come alive in the flickering light of her torch. As she ran her fingers over the carvings, faint echoes of chanting floated to her ears, as if the voices of her ancestors were lingering in the shadows. These weren't just decorations, they were stories carved in stone, warnings and wisdom passed down through the ages. Elise understood that the aurora's glow was more than just a natural spectacle, it was a gateway between worlds. The cave held the secrets of the land's spirit guardians, their essence woven into every flicker of light and shadow. Here, beneath the endless sky, the past whispered urgently, beckoning her to delve deeper into the mysteries of the midnight sun. Chapter 4, The Shaman's Warning. The shaman's hut was cozy, filled with the warm, earthy aroma of burning sage and dried herbs. Elise stepped inside, guided by Inanna, who spoke softly about the blind shaman, Kayak, a man whose wisdom was said to transcend mere sight. Kayak sat cross-legged by a low fire, his milky eyes reflecting the flickering flames as he began to speak in a voice that was both soothing and powerful. He shared a prophecy that had been cherished by the village for generations, a time when the midnight sun would blaze back to life, fierce and unyielding. This event would awaken ancient beings lying dormant beneath the frozen ground, spirits that once ruled the land long before humans arrived. Their return could either spell disaster or herald a new beginning, depending on the choices made by those who honored the old ways. Kayak's words hung heavily in the air, silencing everyone in the room. He cautioned Elise that the balance between light and dark was delicate, and her arrival in Kalak was no mere coincidence. The shaman's vision hinted at a destiny that intertwined her fate with the secrets hidden in the ice. Ignoring this warning could unravel the fragile harmony the villagers had protected for centuries. Chapter 5, The Spirit in the Glacier. The glacier had stood as a silent sentinel for ages, keeping its frozen mysteries hidden beneath layers of ice and time. But as the sun began to warm the earth with the arrival of spring, cracks started to form like spiderwebs across its surface. One fateful morning, the villagers stumbled upon a hollow where the ice had melted away, unveiling something remarkable, a skeleton swathed in tattered furs, clutching an ancient artifact that resembled a sun disk. Elise was summoned to investigate the discovery. The relic, carved from bone and adorned with symbols that matched those found in the cave, seemed to thrum with an energy that was hard to comprehend. According to the village legends, this artifact was believed to possess the power to tether the sun to the sky, guiding its eternal journey. The elders worried that disturbing it could awaken forces that were better left undisturbed. As Elise examined the remains, she felt the weight of history pressing down on her. This was no ordinary find, it was a gateway to understanding the true essence of the midnight sun. The spirit of the long-gone warrior appeared to still watch over the land, bound to the glacier's icy core. Yet now, with the artifact laid bare, the line between past and present, light and shadow, began to dangerously blur. Chapter 6, Twilight Hunt. As the sun lingered just above the horizon, an unsettling air began to creep into the village. Shadows danced where they shouldn't have, and livestock mysteriously disappeared overnight. Whispers filled the air as villagers spoke of a lurking presence at the forest's edge. Strange tracks appeared in the snow, larger than any creature known to them, with claws that sank deep into the frozen ground. The elders fell silent, their eyes betraying a mix of recognition and dread. Elise couldn't shake the feeling that the disturbed artifact was linked to the growing tension. Eager for answers, she made her way back to the ancient cave, poring over the petroglyphs for clues. One figure stood out to her, a shapeshifter with glowing eyes and twisted limbs, rising from the earth during a time of endless light. The legend told of a guardian turned rogue, meant to protect the balance but now wild and restless. That night, a hunter stumbled back, injured and claiming to have encountered a creature cloaked in shifting forms. It moved with an unnatural swiftness and disappeared into the blinding sunlight. Realizing that the line between folklore and reality had blurred, Elise sought the villagers' aid. Armed with torches and sacred charms, they readied themselves for a twilight hunt, not to destroy the creature, but to guide it back to its slumber. What was once mere myth was now a living threat, and the hunt was on. Chapter 7, Trial of the Fire Circle. The village gathered at the edge of the forest, where ancient stones stood in a perfect ring, their surfaces scorched black by the passage of time and the weight of legends. This was the Fire Circle, a sacred spot known only to the elders and shrouded in silence. It was here that the shaman Kayak announced that Elise must face the right, a trial designed for those who bore both wisdom and burden, a journey to mend what had been disrupted. Elise found herself standing alone within the circle as the villagers ignited the fire along its edge. The flames leaped high, casting dancing shadows onto the snow. Outside the ring, the world faded away, and a peculiar warmth enveloped her heart. The trial had begun. Visions flooded her mind. She witnessed the raven stealing fire, the warrior resting beneath the glacier, and the creature observing with sorrowful eyes. The spirit guardian, now twisted by time and neglect, was not malevolent, it was simply lost. In the swirling smoke, Elise faced her own fears, her doubts, her disbelief, and the arrogance of thinking that science could explain everything. Kneeling at the center of the circle, she grasped the artifact and softly recited the chant that Kayak had taught her. Light emanated from the relic, not blinding but gentle and steady. The air shifted. Somewhere deep in the forest, the guardian howled, not in rage, but in grief. The fire settled. The trial was complete. Balance, though delicate, had begun to restore itself. Chapter 8, The Sun Returns. For the first time in weeks, the sky over Colic took on a dimmer hue. The once bright glow of the midnight sun faded into a soothing amber, and for a fleeting moment, twilight graced the land once more. Villagers gathered outside their homes, standing in hushed awe as shadows stretched across the snow again. It felt like a quiet miracle, signaling the return of balance. As dawn broke, Elise stepped out from the fire circle, her clothes singed and her eyes reflecting a deep, ancient change. She had journeyed through visions and memories, faced fear and fire, and now bore the weight of a story that predated language itself. The artifact, which had once radiated unease, now pulsed softly like a heartbeat, as if it were content that its purpose had been fulfilled. The spirit guardian vanished without a trace, but the forest felt transformed, more serene and aware. No more tracks marred the snow, and the northern lights resumed their elegant dance, free from any threat. The villagers returned to their daily lives with a sense of quiet gratitude, thankful that the old tales had been acknowledged, honored, and responded to. Elise was ready to leave Colic, her research now a rich tapestry woven from science and legend. She understood that the midnight sun was more than just a seasonal wonder, it was a threshold, a promise, and a cautionary tale. As her plane ascended into the sky, the sun gently broke through the clouds, no longer an endless observer, but finally prepared to rest. The mysteries of the midnight sun danced in Elise's thoughts long after she had left Colic behind. The ancient secrets of the land whispered to her, revealing a realm where myth and reality wove together like the ever-changing light of the Arctic sky. She discovered that some truths can't be captured in data or charts, they live on in the stories shared from one generation to the next, memories etched into the very ice and air around her. The delicate balance between light and darkness depended on the respect and understanding of those willing to listen. As the sun dipped below the horizon of her journey, Elise took with her a deep appreciation for the might of nature, for the voices that linger beneath the aurora, and for the timeless tales that connect us all to the earth and sky. The midnight sun was more than just a natural wonder, it was a vibrant story waiting to be celebrated.